I'm Antonia Prebble, and this is Being Human, a series where I investigate some fundamental elements of the human condition, elements that we can all relate to, in order to try and get a better understanding of what we do and why. I chat to some people I know about their experiences, and you might recognise them too, and I also talk to experts who explain what's going on at a deeper level and who also offer some practical advice that we can incorporate into our lives. I hope you find it useful. I would like to know what love means to you.
I think love means to me feeling completely safe and content and being free to be able to be yourself completely without judgment. I think that's love to me. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, good question. It's one of those words that's like, I've never really had to think about how to define it before. I guess it's kind of like, I feel the love that I feel towards you is like this next level of relationship where I feel like I don't want to be with anyone else. You sort of give me everything I've ever wanted, and I don't want to live without you, you know?
So what do you think the purpose of love is?
Well, I think that everyone has kind of an incomplete heart until you find love, whether you know that it's incomplete or not. But then when you find love, it's like it fills this little extra bit that you didn't know you had. Yeah.
When I think about the purpose of love, I kind of also think about it from like an evolutionary point of view. And I think like falling in love or having this connection with another person that then helps you to then raise children, and then that child will have a better outcome, most probably, because they'll be more safe. And
up to this point, has the topic, the idea of love, been a stressful part of your life, or something that you have enjoyed in its form?
I think for me, I think there has been a little bit of stress just because of that, of being on The Bachelor. And it was like we had this expectation that we needed to find love on the TV show. And then it was expected that once we were together, that we were in love. And the reality was that we weren't in love straight after the show. We needed to really get to know each other a lot more before we really felt that way about each other.
Because we only had like 20 minutes off camera together, which is not a lot of time over 8 weeks, you know? So it's kind of difficult to fall in love with someone when there's cameras on you. It's sort of hard to explain, but after The Bachelor, it's kind of a crazy time. You know, like women would throw themselves at Art. It was actually really bizarre. I've never seen anything like it.
Wow.
And for me, that was quite difficult to deal with, just because I've never had to be in that situation before. You know, like where your partner is like, you know, famous for being like a ladies guy, you know? It was kind of a bit weird. And then we'd have people like coming up to us in the street being like, oh, I really wanted this person to win, or like, oh, I didn't think you'd win, I wanted this. And it was just a bit, there was a lot going on, there was a lot to deal with. So that kind of played with my mind quite a lot. But I think the longer that we were together and the more that I got to know Art and trust him completely, that all just kind of went out the window, because I knew that what we have is so special and nothing could ever break that.
So then how did you know that you were falling in love? What was going on?
I just thought that I just wanted to be around Art 24/7. I didn't want him to leave my flat, and I think I just loved everything about you. Like there was nothing really bad that annoyed me. I mean, sometimes kind of indecisive, but you know, like apart from that, there was nothing. And so then I just told him, I was like, look, I think I love you.
Yeah, I would think about you all the time. And I just realized without meaning to, I was like prioritizing you over so many other things in my life. And that sort of, to me, meant that, oh my God, I'm actually really quite serious about you. I wanted to be with you all the time. And I realized that you were like a great friend, but I was also very sexually attracted to.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Which I think is an important part.
Yeah,
absolutely. Do you have any advice for maintaining a happy and healthy, loving relationship?
Communication. We talk about absolutely everything, and we have from the start, which has been really important. And I think for us, it's just been integral in building such a strong relationship from the get-go.
And how about in terms of how you approach your relationship? Do you find you want and need the same things out of it? Is your perspective on love the same, or is that different?
We have kind of figured this out over time, actually. We did the 5 love languages test, and we found that really beneficial because everybody speaks a different love language, and we found that Art is more acts of service, so like little thoughtful things, and he's very, very thoughtful, whereas I'm more words, so just saying it a lot is really, that's more how I show love. So as soon as we kind of figured that out, and then we can speak in each other's language a bit more. So I try really hard to do more thoughtful things and more little jobs to kind of help him out, because I know that he really appreciates that. And he tells me that he loves me more and tells me things that I need to hear because we understand each other. So that was really helpful.
Have you noticed that your relationship's gone through different stages?
Absolutely. So in the early stages, I was very much still kind of into image and stuff, and I wanted to look nice all the time. And
For art?
For art, yeah. That's gone way out the window. as a lot of people say, as soon as you get into a long-term relationship, it's kind of like, well, you don't stop caring, but you're just so comfortable and you're so just in love with each other as you are as a person that it doesn't really matter if I've got makeup on or my hair's done, or I mean, I look terrible most of the time and you don't seem to mind.
It's not true.
Can you offer a definition of what romantic love specifically is?
It's a process that gets triggered when we meet someone who emotionally there is some compatibility, and what happens is our body starts triggering this hormone called phenylethylamine, which is what your brain also produces when you smoke crack. So yeah. It's highly addictive, it's highly habit forming, and it's why we always want to be with this other person. We want to touch them, we want to look at them, and we're essentially fascinated by them because being with them makes us high.
So can you explain why humans are so biologically bound to experience the need to have love and to love, and when we don't have it, why we feel so awful?
Okay, this really comes down to the fact that our need for connection is driven by the youngest part of our brain that develops in the first couple of years of life. And so when we're really small, so if you think about a 6-month-old, we're incredibly helpless, incredibly dependent. Pretty much anything can kill us. And so the way that we survive is by being connected to the particular people who take care of us, because we're not going to survive if we're not connected.
Why do people commonly break up?
So there's a guy called John Gottman, and his claim to fame is that he can watch a couple talk for 15 minutes and then predict with over 90% accuracy whether they'll divorce in the next 5 years. And what they found was that there were 4 behaviors that couples would do that were divorce predictors: criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. Gottman also found that they could predict the number of infectious illnesses that partners would have in the following year based off the level of contempt in the conversation. Criticism is a bit like throwing a rock at your partner, contempt's like throwing a grenade.
Do men and women want and need different things in a relationship?
I think one of the things that differs is that women unconsciously in a relationship want to know that if something goes bump in the night, he dies first, she dies second, baby dies last. And that's just tied to that biological reality that women walk around in the world with a much greater level of threat that they experience than men do.
And lastly, do you have any top tips, any practical advice that you offer people to help them create enduring, healthy relationships?
Yeah, I have 2. So the first one is the major superpower, relational superpower, is appreciation. When you think of honeymooners, the feature that they're doing all of the time is telling their partner all the time how amazing they are, what they like about them, and it makes us feel safe, it makes us feel connected. The other one is to understand that relationships are built with the intention of loving your partner in the ways that they need to be loved, rather than in the ways that you want to be loved. What makes your partner feel loved, secure, and safe and feel alive being with you.